Hello and welcome back to the Cheek of Oz podcast with me, Sadhbh McLaughlin. How the heck are you? How are you doing? I hope you're good. I hope you had a good week since we last spoke. Thank you so much to all of you who listened, to all of you who messaged me, who rated the podcast, who shared with your friends and your family. Literally, thank you. Thank you for seeing that. I'm glad you enjoyed it. And here's many more. I am having a cutie time of it. I am PMSing today and I recorded a whole goddamn episode. And then when I listened back, there was something wrong with the audio. So that's where we're at today. So please, audio, do not test me today. Okay. I'm still sweaty. I had my 5th and 6th driving lesson. I'm doing the 2-hour lessons. We drove somewhere, guys. We drove somewhere to a place on a road with cars and cyclists and people and buses. And then we drove back. And I was okay. But my God, I'm sweating. My underboobs are still sweaty. So, that's... Driving is crazy. It's just crazy. Everyone needs to just chill on the roads. Can you all just chill and stop being on your phones? And why? Tell me this now. I got into a taxi the other day. There's a literal TV screen, a screen where in the car by the driver with YouTube playing. And I'd had a few drinks and I said, oh, brilliant. TV. He's watching TV in the car. That's safe. Well, that's safe. But of course I've never been so brave to. I whispered very quietly underneath my breath. So quiet that not even I can hear me saying it. It's more of a thought, probably, to be honest. More of a thought, and I probably didn't even say it out loud. I'm more of a diffuser. I'm a diffuse the tension, let's diffuse the situation, which isn't always good. I mean, sometimes you should tell someone to get F themselves. Speaking of which, listening back, I realized, that little southern character is coming out in you, chick. I don't intentionally do that. So if that annoys you, I'm literally sorry. I don't know what to say about that. But it just happens. Sometimes it just feels so nice mouthfeely in my mouth. Anyway, how are you though? How are you, my sweet darling? I hope you're well. What have you been doing? What have you been watching? What have you been reading? I am very late to the game, but I started watching Industry. It's very freaking good. Do you think I know what they're talking about in the workplace bits? No! What kind of question is that? Of course I don't. But do I understand that it's high stakes? The hell I do. Can't imagine working that kind of job in real life. Ooh. Oh my God. Who cares? No, people care, and I'm sure it's important, isn't it? Buying things, buying money, buying currency. They're dropping numbers left, right, and center. Don't know, but I know it's high stakes. And it's all about stakes, guys. It's always about the stakes. So watch it. Very saucy too. Vsauce. And that's all I have to say on that. But watch it. It's very good. I had a great week. On Friday, I was in the Bureau de Change, which is Tony Cantwell's brain baby. What? Brainchild. Oh, Lord have mercy on my shelf. Brainchild. Whatever right now. You know what I'm saying? It's like a comedy Eurovision. All the comedians pick a country, we create a little character, and we do a little song. We make up a song, and then we perform it live in the Olympia Theatre in Dublin in front of a live audience. And then the audience vote, and I came second. And what a gift that was. I've been wanting to do the Bureau de Change for many a year. It was on my wish list, if you will. So that's fun. Let's get into it. Episode 2, all about the woo-woo. Who is taking notes? Somebody, for the love of God, take notes. She's going to take notes. Marjorie's going to take notes. She's going to email all of us. Don't worry, I have all of your emails, guys. We don't do GDPR anymore in Jigaville. I have all of your emails. You're going to get the notes. So don't worry. This meeting, you can just listen. You can just take a break and you can just listen. It's all in. Listening back to last week's episode, I realized there's a southern lady coming out, and I don't mean to do that. I had a boyfriend many moons ago who I kept doing the southern accent. I couldn't help it. And we were crossing the street and he just snapped and he was like, please stop it. Just stop it. Stop doing that accent. I was like, no. Needless to say, we're not together anymore. So I said, if you can't handle me at my darndest, you do not deserve me at my dudest. So I said, get out. That's not true. We stayed together for far too long. Anyway, let's get into it. Episode 2. We made it. You made me. We're talking woo-woo. We're talking magique. We're talking mystical. I love the woo-woo. I love it. So I thought it'd be fun to just talk about it. We're just gonna talk. We're just gonna talk. Everyone relax. Except for you, Margot. You're taking notes. Do not relax. Do not take your foot off the gas. Little driving reference because I'm a driver now. So I thought we'd go through three little things. We're gonna start off light, okay? Then we're gonna go ooh, and then we're gonna go spooky. Ooh. Okay, how does that sound? Great. I love your enthusiasm. Let's go. Number 1. Oh, what's that? Manifestation? I've never heard of that in my life. What is it? Well, dear listener, it's something I am the first person to ever talk about it. So there. I was mega zulu into manifestation in like COVID, because what else was there to do? Am I right, ladies? And I read the magic, and I did the magic like challenge, which is like 20 I'm gonna say 21 days, practicing gratitude, and it actually really worked. Kind of spooky, but such a commitment. I did it once and I said, I'm good. Okay, I said I've done that. I also did the Artist's Way a few years ago, and that was very good. A lot less work than you think it is, and I learned loads. So like, do it, I guess. And it's nice because you like go on artist dates, which is like where you go and do something cutesy for yourself, with yourself, which is very easy to do when you're living in London. I'll tell you that much. And I love spending time on my own. Oh my God, I love it. I love taking myself for treats. I love taking myself for lunch. I love taking myself for dinner. I love taking myself for breakfast. I love taking myself for a drink. I love taking myself for a walk. I love taking myself to the cinema. I love it so much. Maybe a little too much, but who cares? If you can't love yourself, yeah, hell, you're gonna love somebody else. Anyway, I was mega into manifestation to the point that I did a vision board. Because I'm so like random and unique and unusual and quirky. And oh my God. Did a vision board on Pinterest. In 2021, I said, there's a picture and there's another picture. I said, I'm done. I'm actually done this vision board. I picked 2 pictures and I think I'm good. And it was a picture of London and it was a picture of a room, a bedroom. Something about the bedroom, I was like, oh, I like that. And I said, so that's just speaking to me. So I'm going to put that on my vision board and we're going to, that's it. So just keep that in your memory, okay? Just pause that, just say, okay, vision board. At the same time, because I was super into manifesting, I did this thing called scripting, where you write, it's like a day in the life. I wake up and it's blah, 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 and it's in the future and it's like your dream life. One of the details was I live opposite a park. I think I said in London. So put that in the other part of your brain, and you're going to put a pin in that. Okay, you're keeping up with me, Margot. You're still taking notes. Thank you. Don't worry, she's going to email them all to you guys. Don't worry, just enjoy the meeting. Then fast forward to 2022 or maybe 3. Who cares? I'm over in London. I'm subletting somewhere. We're looking for a place to live. Me and mysterious boy and two other friends of ours, another couple, and we're all looking for somewhere to live together. And guys, the places we were bleak. Finding somewhere nice was crazy with our budget. Moldy, dark, tiny little shoebox apartments. We were like, oh bloody hell, this is a nightmare. And then this one apartment appeared, and I was like, I must. And then we were close, and then the letting agent was like, oh, sorry guys, it's going to another couple. And we said, okay, well, fine. And I said, okay, it's clearly not meant to be. But something about this place, I kept thinking about it, and I was thinking how I would decorate, how I would, where would I put the bed, etc. And then like a month passes, me and mysterious boy were like in the area, and I said, hang on, I just want to go, like, we're just around the corner from that apartment, I just want to go look at it. I'm just going to look at it, I swear. So I went down, and it was on the ground floor, and I looked in and I said, nobody's living in there. I said, oh, no one's living in there. And he said, okay, but there will be, so keep walking, sister. And I said, I really want to live here. And he said, okay, well, that's not going to happen because we're in a very nice area. So wake up, you dumb. He didn't say that. He was like, okay, well, wake up, you dumb. So anyway, went for a walk in the park, and I was like, oh, I don't know. I can't stop thinking about it. I'm not joking when I say we got an email, I think even that day or the day after, from the letting agent saying, hey, if you're still looking for an apartment, the couple actually they fell through the ceiling. No, I'm way too delirious now. It actually fell through, so if you're still looking for it. So we went, oh yes, and guys, we got the apartment, but I was finishing touches in the room, and I said, wait a moment though. And I pulled out my vision board, which I hadn't looked at since 2021. And I said, it's the freaking room, guys. It's the same room. It's the same room. And I can't, the places we were looking at were, I cannot stress enough how they weren't this room. Okay. So I be like, well, you just got lucky. No, it was, I don't need to prove myself to you right now. If you're a hater, you know where the door is, and we'll see you next week. Please, because we love you. So, and I have loads of other spooky manifestation stories, but we're going to move on. So that's my favorite manifestation story. Thank you so much. Let me know if you got any spooky ones. Now we're going, kind of spooky. Part 2. I love a witchy woman. My God, I love a witchy woman. I love a witchy woman. I was going to this masseuse a few years ago. I had this really great health insurance, which was specifically for like under 30-year-olds or something. Very cheap. And then you could get things like massages that are worth €70 and you just pay 20. Too good to be true. They actually doesn't exist anymore, which bring it back, even though I'm no longer in my 20s, but bring it back for people in the 30s as well. So I found this masseuse near me because I love a massage. I love a massage. I love reflexology. Oh my God, it's amazing. I went to this masseuse and she was like, just to let you know, I sometimes pick up on things from people, and I do Reiki, and some people don't want me to do that. Some people don't want to know anything. But I'm just letting you know, if something comes up, would you like me to tell you? Would you like Reiki? I said, do it all, sister. Do you hear me? I said, do it all. So I went over the space of a year. I think I went to her like 3 times. And the first time I was like lying on my front. It's a full body massage, a full booty massage, a full body massage. I'm lying on my front. And she's massaging me, and I felt really tense in my chest. Like, when you feel like you can't take a deep breath, and you're like, oh, and you can't take a deep breath. And I was on my front, like dozing in and out of sleep. And then it's like, oh, the people from my past entered my mind. I was like, oh, that still makes me feel a bit awkward and weird. Like that didn't end very well and blah, blah, blah. And I'm not joking. I'm not joking when I say this. She literally went, oh. And then she put her hands on my spine and she broke it. And then she mended it back together. No, she put her hands on my back and then just like wiggled, like moved my body, rocked it. That's it. Rocked my body. Rock your body. Back and forth. And then she went, oh, wow. And suddenly I was like, and I could breathe. Guys, I breathed so hard. And I was like, wow, I can breathe again. And then she was like, you need to let your past go. You need to let things from your past go that no longer serve you. And I said, what? That's weird. Then I went on my back and then she was massaging and then she did Reiki. And she's like near my ears. She's like around my ears. The heat coming off her hands was crazy. And then she's like near my forehead and she's like, your thoughts are really busy and borderline insane. And I said, what's new? And then she was like, and then while she was doing that, so a friend of mine is also big as the woo-woo, and she was like, ask a question in your head when she's doing that. So I said, okay, I'll give it a go. So I said, am I on the right path? Am I on the right track? Am I on the right path? I'm not joking when I say this. She literally went, okay. So Spirit is saying to me, you were on the right path. Does that make sense that you're on the right track? And I said, no. No, you idiot. No, I said, yeah, that's kind of weird. Then afterwards, I was like, I got up and she was like, you know, when you're really sleepy after massage, and I was there sitting up with my towel, like what I just sat up. And then she went, wait a minute, hold on a minute. And then my back was to her and she takes out a box. I don't know, I can't see what she's doing. And then it goes silent and I could hear she's like moving in some sort of way, not touching me. And then I just get this rush. And it's like this, like this need to like, cry. Just for a second. And I mean a split second. And then she was like, yeah, there it is. I was like, what did you just do? And she's like, I have a crystal. And I just like did movements behind your back. Sorry, my lips are dry. I need to moisturize them. Hydrated lips. This is not a sponsored by anyone, but Laneige. This is the best purchase I have done. Look how empty that is. I use that every day. This is my emotional support lip balm. Peach glaze. So Laneige, I love you, man. I freaking love you. Next. So in still on the Reiki, I went to this woman in London, a Reiki maestro, and went in and she did my birth chart as well, which was spooky. She was saying stuff that I was like, okay, that's way too specific for you to just take an educated guess. And I still think about it to this day. For those of you who want to know, for those of you who are into your astrology and you want to know my big three, I'm a Leo. I'm a Leo sun, I'm a Libra rising, and I'm a Leo moon, okay? Stop talking about it. Everyone always is like, oh my God, you're such a Leo. And they say it with such venom. They're such... You're jealous. Leo's the best star sign of them all. You're such... Oh my God, you're such a Leo. Oh my God, you're such a Leo. Shut up. Get a hobby. Ugh. So I went to this Reiki lady in London and she did Reiki on me. And again, they don't touch you when you're doing Reiki. And she had this like bandana, she had this eye mask across my eyes, so I couldn't see anything. And she had crystals on my body. And then I had a little snooze. And I was seeing all these colors. I was seeing this like pink, blue, orange like colors. It was crazy. And then afterwards she was like, so I worked on your stomach a lot. A lot of congestion there. I said, what's new? And I was like, oh, cool. Yeah, that feels nice. Whatever. She told me things. She told me stuff. Then I go home to Mysterious Boy. And he's made me dinner. This is like 9 p.m. at this point. And I get back and he's talking to me. And I said, oh, you're going to hold that thought. You're going to have to hold that thought, my friend. Because your girl's got to go toilet. I went toilet. I'm a morning bowel movements lady. To a T. Okay, I'm very serious about my bowel movements, the regularity of them. And you should too, by the way. You should too, especially the ladies, because it helps you flush out excess hormones and it's very good for your health. So, yes, protein, but fiber, my chicks, fiber, okay? Get on the fiber. Anyway, I said, you're going to have to hold your goddamn thought. I need to go toilet. And I did the best bowel movement I have ever had in my life. I still think about it, obviously, and that was like 3 years ago. Oh my God, it was incredible. And she was like, yeah, the woman said I spent loads of time in your stomach. Not touching my stomach. So if that's not proof, I don't know what is. Now, part 3, spooky. Whoa. So when my dad was 15, he was staying in my granny's childhood home because his great aunt was dying and the whole family was up there. And my dad was sleeping on the floor because my grandparents were at the hospital visiting the auntie. And he woke up in the middle of the night to what sounded like a nail tapping on the door. Like consistently for long enough for him to be like, yeah, I'm hearing that. I'm hearing that. I'm not going crazy. And then you hear like bristling of something, like branches against the door, against the window. But there was no tree or bushes of the sort near the window. Then the next day, grandparents come in and they say, she very sadly passed away. And then my dad's aunt said, so that's what that was, that noise. And he said, hey? And I remember he told me that story. He told us all that story when we were younger. And I was like, that's scary. And I said, great. We have Ms. Banshee in our family. Great. Oh, great. But then when my granddad passed away, I didn't hear. She didn't come a knocking. And when my granny passed away, she didn't come a knocking either. She was shy. But I do remember when my granny passed away in 2023, I had a dream that a man, and he was wearing this like corduroy kind of like suit jacket, but where his face and neck were shown, it was like jet black, like no like a shadow, like a jet black shadow, 2D. And my dad was there and my granny was there, and I was like reassuring my dad. I was like, no, he's here for granny. And the next morning and the next day, my granny had passed away. And I think the man in the thing was my granddad, because he used to always wear like a shirt and a suit and stuff. Fast forward to a couple of years ago. Now where I live, the upstairs is tiny. There's like enough room to walk from like the bedrooms to the bathroom. It's very small. The bathroom kind of door stays open ish if you leave it open. Whatever. I don't have to explain myself to the haters. So my brother was in bed. I was in bed with Mysterious Boy and falling asleep. And then I hear what sounds like a metal nail on the mirror. My child. Going for, I say, 30 seconds. Long to be like, I'm hearing that. That's not just a fluke noise. That is continuing. It doesn't sound like anything else I've ever heard. And it's very close to where we are. And I was like, are you hearing that? He's like, yeah, I can hear that too. We're like, what the hell is that noise? So I obviously made him go check. Obviously, he had to go check. Are you crazy? And then the next morning, my mom calls us and goes, oh, it's very sad. Granny's sister passed away last night. The same auntie that heard the Banshee, Ms. Banshee, when my dad was 15. So, I don't know what else to tell you guys. So there. This, for the people who don't believe in magic, this is for you. So there. There. So those are my three stories. And to be people who just are like so anti all of that and just like, well, logically, shut up. Live a little, man. You've only got one life. Why not choose to look at a bit of magic sometimes? Accept the magic. Wow, what a way more exciting life it is. So that's my note. And if you come across somebody who's like, well, that's just stupid, tell them to shut up. Who hurt you? That's what you should. Who hurt you? Do you believe in magic? The Ali and AJ cover, not the original song. So it took too long for me to call back. Normally I would just forget that. Except for the fact it was your birthday. It was my birthday. Bring them back. Bring Ali and AJ back, man. My God, that was... I put up a question box and I asked y'all to send me your spooky. One person messaged in, I've been experiencing Jungian synchronicity via SNL UK for several weeks. What the frick is that? Jungian. We're gonna learn something today. Somebody put educational on the podcast description. Jung's term for meaningful coincidences, events that coincide in time and appear related but lack discoverable causal connection. It describes an invisible acausal connecting principle that bridges the gap between our subjective... Okay, boring. You can look it up yourself. I zoned out. Basically, it's what? Coincidences? That's cool. We learned something today. That happens a lot to me. I mean, like where you're is it that where you're seeing things like say like Ali and AJ now, that song will come on the radio and I'm like, what the frick? And then I'll go into a shop and it'll be playing. That kind of thing. Or like someone else, I'll go somewhere else, someone else be talking about it and you're like, that's too spooky. Is that what it is? Because that happens to me too a lot. Okay, next one. Stepped in a fairy circle. Oh, spooky. By accident, then a branch knocked my head bloody AF. Don't mess with the fairies, guys. Don't. Actually, I got really into Eddie Linehan stuff over lockdown, reading his books and stuff. How many times can we say stuff? You should check them out. He's very good. He specializes in Irish folklore, and like people call him to help them with stuff. Like there was this couple who wanted to build a house on this land, but there was some markings or something that indicated that it was fairy property. And he had to go down and like help them, show them what they have to do so that there's no bad vibes. So check them out. Okay, last one. I never believed in anything after a particularly bad breakup. I was walking home from work thinking I'd love karma to get my ex, but nothing that would come back on me. No pain, no suffering, just a little something from the universe. Just as I was thinking this, a bus went by and he was sitting in a window seat picking his nose. I think I actually looked up at the sky and said thanks. Bought some crystals after that. As you should, my darling. As you should. I like that. What a lovely, cute little note to end it on. Thank you. Thank you so much for listening. And I'll see you next week. And thank you for rating. Thank you for rating, for commenting, for following. Please do share this with your loved ones if you think they might enjoy it. And hope you like it. Hope you have a great week. And I'll see you next week. Love you.